Hello, everyone. I have Darren with me today. And while we were in the green room, we were talking about British literature and uh, people marrying their stepsisters or stepbrothers.
Uh, Specifically, how I guess I recently learned that Clueless is basically based off the Jane Austen novel Emma.
And we both have
So
seen Clueless, but not read Emma.
right. So
So
I
you
was
don't.
like, I have so many now. I have so many expectations for Emma.
Yeah, exactly. So that's something. So we'll just talk. We're gonna get to Person of Interest season 2, but until some people join us, we're just gonna be uh chatting. So Darren, how was your weekend?
It was pretty good. I went on a long retreat from Friday through Sunday. So it was a silent retreat. So as an introvert, I kind of appreciated that a lot.
Two
Uh,
introverts doing a podcast.
yeah,
That's
yes, that's
that.
gonna be. No, you talk.
Well, we're both introverts.
uh, but it was good. I got to meet a few people. I went to it with several people from my parish community, people that I haven't really met or really got the chance to talk to a lot and get to know. So that was really great. Got to build a little bit of community there, and then I I just appreciate being around like a group of guys that are seeking to improve themselves and like deepen their spiritual journey. It's just I was telling a couple of them on the way back. I was like, I just in those situations, I feel almost like a malnourished stray dog, like meeting like a big healthy pack, and like yeah,
Uh-huh.
like all right, and it's just like and it's kind of interesting that they were like that's yeah, I would that's pretty much how I was feeling too. So
So
it's just
so you
it's
you
great.
get a boost.
Yeah, no, it's a great boost. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's known as like retreat high.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And I feel like there's a couple things that I was able to. I've never really taken the time, like taking the time to really work out in prayer, different things, and uh, the weekend was a really great opportunity to do that. And I'm hoping. I mean, I don't know, but I taught a little bit of time will tell. But I'm hoping that um, I'll see some fruit from it. That doesn't just you know that's not just the immediate squeeze nectar from like the first week.
Yeah, it's
So
funny the idea of melancholics enjoying a pack. I think that's kind of true though.
yeah, well, it's like I'm just kind of just sitting out like we're not really even talking, and I'm just like this is the best time I've ever spent with a group of guys.
Oh, so
Like
you
we're
must
not
really.
even we're not even communicating. Like there's a point. There's a like it was put on my Opus Day, and so like Opus Day, the way that they do retreats and stuff like that, they have like they'll do a moment in the night where like, hey, we'll just do a little bit of snacking, like it'll be like a social, like a brief social period, and it was just like that's when I felt most lost. Like, what do I do?
Well, so you must really hate this podcasting thing. Just
I, you know,
all talking.
the small talk is not that unbearable. It would be more difficult if I were doing the podcast myself and like trying to make sure I carry the conversation by my like if I was presenting a topic and I didn't have a guest or anything like that, and I was just like trying to talk like I just having like I don't know how I'd be able to do it. Like I just you need a guest to really be able to like have a little back and forth with to carry on a conversation to know that you're I don't know.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm an introvert, so I really don't know
Has anyone
what
ever come
it's
up to
like to have
you?
a conversation in general.
Has anyone come up to you and recognized you from either Avoiding Babylon, Integrated with Angela, or Plotlines? No.
Nope.
Well
No, not
then,
yet. Not yet.
okay. That'll be interesting when that happens.
Yeah.
If
Has that
it
happened?
ever
Has that
happens.
happened to you? You're like, hey, it's Connor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that and
Not very often.
not very often, but a few times. Huh?
But I have an oddly large percentage of the people who watch slash listen to the podcast that are in the in the state, in the same state.
Okay, so like they're kind of in the area, so like they do see you out every once in a while.
Yeah. Though I'm an introvert, so
You're just
I
like,
tr-
stop talking to me.
well, I'm trying to hide from people. No, no. It just I'm not out and about that like that often. So if
Yeah,
you catch me, you probably caught me at church.
yeah.
And that's
Uh,
probably it. That's the main time you might catch me. I
Well,
mean,
I can't imagine anybody outside of the church community that I'm with would recognize me. So that's
that
part of it too. So it's like I'm only like it's not like it's right down the street. Like it's something that I participate. Like it, my church is kind of out of my way. I only go there on the weekends, so it's like there's that 1 hour on the weekend, and I'm seeing the same people, and I'll talk
gotcha.
to them about different things and like different podcasts and stuff like that. And like we're not, you know, we're crisscross. Like we're not like watching the same stuff, so it's like yeah, I don't really see how there would be too many people that I would
Okay.
know. So
Well, let's get into the topic of the episode. I think this is the longest we've gone where we haven't actually talked about the topic. Which,
yeah,
which
right.
there are a lot of podcasts that actually do that. It's like I'm
Yeah,
listening to
yeah.
this
Oh,
episode.
and we've got 5 minutes left. We'll hurry up and get squeeze this in.
Yes, exactly. So we're talking about season 2 of Person of Interest, the
Yeah,
Jim Caviezel AI detective show.
yeah.
Which
Crime
is
drama. Well, pre-crime drama.
what do you mean pre? Oh,
Yeah. Like
yeah.
yeah. You know, it's not
Usually
like.
there is crime.
I mean, there is. I mean, it's a crime in progress.
Yeah, a crime premeditated.
Yeah.
But so we're on season 2. Um, this is basically, I like to think of this episode as the hunt for, or this season as the hunt for the machine.
Yeah. That's a pretty good. That's one good way to look at it. I think it's also. I think also like it's where the show kind of hits a little bit of its own stride, really recognizing kind of its identity. Um, before it completely collapses in on itself.
The show?
Yeah, like it's just gonna go through a because because in season 3 it goes through a metamorphosis of sorts, and it becomes like what the show that it is at the beginning is like a completely different show at the end. So like this whole season is just like this is like I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of great episodes this season that like when I think of like, oh, that's a really good episode. I, I think I think like 3 or 4 of those episodes are from this season.
Gotcha. So episode 1 and 2 is a not is in some sense a hunt for the machine, though it's more a hunt for Harold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Root is introduced right at the tail end of of season 1.
Well, she wasn't introduced at the tail end. She was introduced in a season in one of the episodes earlier, but we never actually got to see her
Wait,
or
when was
recognize
that?
her. So that was the one where that foreman was out of a job and like he was framed for a political assassination, and Root
Okay.
was the woman in the like the woman in the dorm room doing everything behind the scenes.
The what?
Do you not remember that episode from season 1?
She's in the courtroom?
Dorm room,
Oh, dorm room.
and the FBI gets there and it's like, no, there's nobody here. It's just a college dorm. but
I
she
do not
was.
remember that at all.
Uh, but yeah, anyway, because that was when we initially met Root, because she was like a formidable opponent. Like she knew
Oh,
because she's typing at the end
but
with
you can't
Harold, and
see
she's
her.
like, "I'll see you soon, Harold." Like she knows his name, and he's just like, "Oh no."
But you can't see her.
But you never
That
actually introduced to her. You're introduced to the concept of her character, but you aren't introduced to her like her full character uh until the end of season one, and it's a wonderful it's just a wonderful way that they do it. That well, like it's just great.
she is wonderfully creepy.
You know, she is one of the really great storylines of the whole show, though. As well, like it's like it's weird. I mean, it's like she's a wonderful addition, I think, to season two. Season two, she's probably not. Um, she kind of drops out of the radar for a while, but she comes back, and she just as the seasons progress, her character becomes more developed. But yes, initially, like meeting her, she's like just a complete psychopath. It's like, what is her deal? Like
She
she just has no. She just doesn't care about people. She's just for like, oh, this is what I'm going to do. And who she is in this season compared to who she is in season five is just a wonderful uh, metamorphosis.
she's a symbol of the plot. She is basically she carries the plot wherever she goes. Even and since it is in some ways very standard TV series where the plot is at the the first couple episodes carries on the main storyline, and then at in the mid-season the storyline gets picked back up again, or there's a breakthrough of some sort, then they leave you hanging, and then and then season finale or the last few episodes, the the sort of the storyline picks back up quickly.
I think her character has a um, really valuable purpose of really kind of bringing to life the reality of what the machine is a little bit. Like the machine isn't just a machine. Like she kind of gives it kind of personality that it doesn't actually have. Like it's just this. I built this machine. It's a computer program. It does this stuff, and then when she kind of comes in and she's like talking about it like this, it's this great god, and it's going to change the world, and like this is this, that, and the other. Like um,
Yeah, I
it's
really
through
hated
it's
that
through her
part.
character that kind of makes the machine a character of the show in a sense, and
Did it strike you, like, was it off-putting when she did that? When she, like, kept talking, she says that the machine is a she and is a god and that sort of thing. Did
I
that
don't think I
off-put
don't
you?
think it's off-putting because I think there's because she comes across as a little bit of a crazy person, and I think there's plenty of crazy people out in the world that make all sorts of things into gods. Like so it's not it's off-putting, but only I mean it's off-putting, but it's no more off-putting than anybody else who will make something some other object or something into a god. Like somebody like I really love The Office, but honestly, like some people are like I'm a big fan of it and I'll geek out about it, but some people can take that to an extreme where it's just like this is there's got to be more to your life. Like it's one of those things. Like it's just that's kind of how she comes across. She just has that level of intensity with
Mhm.
her focus on this thing that it's just like there's got to be more that she's focused on, but it's like this is everything to her.
Yeah, she's definitely a bit of a psycho.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she's captured Root, or no, she's captured Harold, She can't capture herself though.
Right.
She
She could
might have
try.
captured herself.
That'd probably help her out psychologically.
Capturing herself,
Yeah,
figuring out who she is.
right.
Yeah. Well, she's also has no problem with murdering people.
Yeah, well, that's the part of the that's part of her psychopathic behavior. Like, like it's not like she's not so much a psychopath in the sense of what she's saying and like her ideas. It's she's a psychopath in like her just moral ambivalence to her actions.
I don't know. Also, the way she talks is a little bit of bit psychopathic. Just like the way she talks like she's like like a crazy like super serious, but also with like little like girly laughs or girly like endings or high like making her voice a little high pitched at certain points, like she's a cute little girl but she's a psycho.
I mean, I think that's part of the introduction of her character. Like, you're not meant to like her. You're meant to be a little bit like she's just a little bit she's a little bit raw, right? And I think that's important as the show goes along, that you're not meant to really like this character at the beginning.
Well, I was thinking about it. TV is often making us like horrible people, and obviously making us dislike horrible people too, but specifically like identifying with people that do terrible things.
Right. But at the same time, what makes this show unique is that you start with people who say they made mistakes or stuff like that, and they like the overarching theme of the show is that they find some sort of redemption and stuff like that. So she's what makes her unique in the flow of the characters is she's the only character that gets like the only main character that really gets introduced to the show that never seems to express remorse over her actions.
Does Shaw though? Shaw doesn't really.
Shaw has a specific personality disorder that explains that, though. Like, she has a specific psychological disorder that makes her incapable of expressing emotion and being able to empathize with others. And so, I mean, yes, she is basically, I mean, clinically a psychopath in that regard. So you're not really, so that's, I mean, they wrote that reality into her character, but even then, like, she expresses regret over like her partner being killed, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
not, she's like, hey, you killed this guy and I really liked him. Like, you jerks.
Yes, and then I'm going to hunt you down and
Right,
murder you.
right.
Woohoo! Yeah. Um, but really, the I would say that there are four characters that are sort of strictly good. In at least the show wants you to think of them as strictly good. Harold, Reese, Fusco, and Carter.
No, just Harold and Carter.
You don't think? I mean, we all know.
Reese is expected to be, you're expected you're supposed to recognize him as a broken man who's struggling to do what's right and do what's good, because
Not by the
especially
time of season 2.
season 2 is a little bit, yeah, I saw season 2, he's kind of like seemed to be on a better path, I guess. But
It's like
like,
he's a recovering alcoholic. Season
yeah,
2, and it's in some sense
but
he's fully recovered.
but Lionel is still a dirty cop.
Only because they want him to be.
I No, he's still a dirty cop.
Explain that. Explain that more, because it seems to me that he, uh, the obviously he has done crooked things previously, but he
Yeah, and
definitely has turned
and I
away.
think I think he has a great little soliloquy too about how he just, it's not something that he necessarily intended to get into. It just sort of happened. He was put in that position, and he just did this once, but then he got put in that position again because he did a good job with it, and then it's just one of those things that just kind of snowballed into something more and more and more, and like so it's just um he's kind of a unique character in the sense that like he just kind of represents that like how you kind of get into how you can find yourself in a deep situation without necessarily trying to get yourself into a deep situation because you thought you were just trying to help out a friend or just trying to like but you didn't really do it the right way, and it all snowballs a little bit. Before long it's just like you're just in a situation that you don't know how the heck to get out of.
Well, that's why I don't think of him as like a bad character.
Right, but I wouldn't call him like moral.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that he's a moral straight and narrow. I would think I would still put that only to Finch and Carter. And even with Finch, I think the only reason Harold is that way is because he actually created the machine, and so he's going to kind of help you understand why the machine, like he's going to help you understand the limitations and why he set these limitations to the machine throughout the show. And in doing so you recognize that they aren't just random limitations. Like he put some real thought into should 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 people really, should a machine, like if you could take this from people, should you? Like it's not just, oh, we can do this, it's should I? Should that be allowed?
So, what is your qualifications for
None.
this?
I have no qualifications.
No, how are you qualifying people as good or not, or straight and narrow? Not. Are you basing it off of their history, or are you basing it off of their show? Uh, what they do on the show.
So I don't. I'm basing it a little bit off their history. I'm basing it off a little bit on their kind of moral judgment of what sense is right and wrong. Like Carter Carter always has like an appropriate sense of like I'm here to uphold the law. Like this is I'm doing the right thing. And in some respects she kind of goes through this moment where she starts realizing that in order to do good, you kind of have to cross that line a little bit. Like it's just that weird kind of like you're gonna, or at least you're gonna have to learn to flirt with it a little bit to really like sometimes it's not it, like you're gonna have to grapple with it if you really want to make sure that you know I don't know it. But she always seems to have like this sense of like what is right and what is wrong. Reese, he's somebody who he does seem to have a sense of right or wrong, but at the same time, like not. I mean, there's also plenty of occasions where he's like, this is what I did, and like he's trying to reform, but there's different things, there's different scenarios that come up where he definitely gets triggered, and he's just like, I'm just like where it's like his past or his shame or something like that is just going to be like I have to do this, and it's not it's like, and it's not that's not necessarily about being good. It's about the fact that you have things in your past that show up from time to time, and you feel like you can't shake them. Like you have to respond to them in a particular way, and because you have that trained response.
Do you
Um,
think that has more to do with their the different temperaments of the characters?
no, I
No.
no, I mean I'm just basing it off on the fact like I just like John is clearly somebody who has done ugly business, and he's willing to keep doing it. Like he's not going to try to follow. He's going to break into people's houses. Like it's for a good reason, but he's going to do bad things for that good reason. Like that's not really a
But
moral upstanding thing, right? Fitch,
Finch got him because he knows that he does that. Like
right? But
he got him for that purpose. How isn't
that's
Finch equally complicit in Reese's doings
Fitch is
because he
crippled.
knows?
He's a Fitch is crippled. He can't do anything himself. He knows that. But
Okay.
like that's I guess
How does that feel
I
then?
guess arguably you could say that, but for the sake of the show, he's recognized as kind of like the authority on the machine. Like he's recognized as kind of the moral authority of what the machine ought to be able to do, what it ought not to be able to do, where its limitations lie, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate with AI. Like he's like it's an advanced high level AI that has never been introduced in the world, and he's very concerned about its impact on how that's going to change people's human behavior and what it's going to do to human people, and he wants to limit it as much as possible. He wants it to do what he designed it to do, but not actually like change, but not actually drastically change like how people live. Like he wants people that I mean, one thing that becomes even more abundantly clear in the later seasons is his importance on like people have to make the decision. It has to be there for what the machine can see what's going to happen, but at the end of the day, people have to be able to choose.
Okay, so is Finch complicit in Reese's
See,
doing?
that's not the standard in which I am defining what character. Like you're telling me that all these characters are moral, like the
No, I didn't
moral.
say that. I said that I would say that the show wants you to think
Yeah,
that Reese, Finch, Fusco, and Carter are more or less straight and narrow,
I
and that Shaw and Root are the
I don't think
are
they want you to think that Reese is straight and narrow. I think they want you to know that Reese is still capable of doing some really bad things if he chose to.
okay. That he's a good spy for
Uh,
what a spy does. He's a good version of
you
that.
know what? We're just gonna have to disagree.
No, I'm not. Yes, I know. We're not. I'm not trying to convince you necessarily. I'm just
but
trying to say that I'm just trying to put out my perspective on what the show is pushing. Why, like, why?
I mean, obviously they're the main characters, and you want to like, and you're going to be invested in them. So yeah, like, but that's just like any other show and saying, oh well, these they want you to know that no, they're the main characters. They want you to be invested in them because they're gonna bring them into the next show as well. So they're hoping you like them. So like. Yes, obviously, yeah, they want you to think that they're good guys because they want you to like the character because they plan on keeping them around for multiple episodes.
Well, you trust Reese, I think, more than you trust uh certain characters.
Well, yeah, because he's the main character.
Okay, but you
And
wouldn't
he's
trust.
Jesus. Of course you trust him.
You don't trust people because they're the main character. You trust them because you think they will
You
make the
trust him
best
because he steps
decision.
out of the shadows and says, "Hey, I'm John and I'm here to help. Do what I tell you to do." And you're just like, "I don't know who you are or where you came from, but you sound like a guy who knows that I have a problem at this
Well,
precise
Darren, you can't have both. Is he John or is he Jesus?
moment." In this show, he's John.
He plays Luke in a different show in a
I
different
know,
movie.
right? He plays a count in another movie.
A count?
He's the Count of Monte Cristo. It's one of his earlier shows.
Did you just say Monte Crisco?
I did say Monte Cristo. I think it's more fun to say than Monte Cristo.
Hey Mac, how's it going? We're just hanging out,
You
being
know,
ridiculous.
one of the things that I started noticing in this season, like I started writing down all my like because you shared with me like your favorite episodes of the season 2,
That
and I
wasn't
started.
favorite episodes, but okay.
They weren't your favorite episode. What were they
No,
then?
what we wanted to talk about. You
Oh,
said
what you want to talk about? Oh, well, I was like, what episodes do you want to talk? Okay, yeah. So what were your favorite episodes of this
uh, let,
season?
let me see. Um, let me think about that. I really hated the surgeon one
Yeah, I didn't like that one either.
because the lesbians.
I mean, even if you get past that one, I just didn't like it. Like it just, but yeah, but that I guess that's part of why I didn't like it is because the whole idea is it's trying to create this dramatic ethical dilemma, and
Well,
it's
they're
just like
trying to make you like them, and
it's
I'm
like,
like,
but
I really don't care.
you're not invested.
Like,
Yeah, like that's the
like I
problem. Is that to make this ethical dilemma work, you have to really like and want it to not work. Like you want to like the characters a lot that you're like, oh no, I hope that like
like I cared more about the episode with the married couple wanting to kill each other.
yeah. Have you
That was one of the best episodes, I think.
we're not in season 3. There's another moral dilemma one episode in season 3
Well,
that I
we'll
think
cover it next
I
time.
know, but it works better than the other one.
I do like
Hey Angela.
Angela.
Hey.
I do like the one where they all have sort of admin of the machine for
That
the
is very
machine.
cool.
But
I love the way I love the way the scene ends, man. It's so cool.
I wanted them to get a hold of the machine. I it's
Nah,
the
is
machine
it
didn't
because now you know there's going to be a season 3
but the machine didn't make any sense. Why would it allow you to have two admins?
because he spliced the phone line.
Oh, right.
So it called
So
2 different phones.
so it wasn't the machine that did that.
Yeah, it's Harold that
Right.
he did some low tech hacking.
Harold is very strategic. He's
Yes.
trying. But
Yes.
that's a good one. Also when Jim is sorry, John.
Jim, John, whatever.
Yeah, I
Jim,
switched
John,
between
Jesus.
Jim.
The J. We'll just call him Jay from now
Well,
on.
what about Luke?
Yeah.
Um
Back
Mac.
there, Mac, hey!
Mac.
Hey!
But when John is in prison and how sort of
Not,
Elias has
not in the
becomes
Apostle
more
Paul, but
friend.
in this show, right?
What?
When he's in prison, not in the Apostle Paul, but in this show.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay, when he's in prison for being the man in the suit.
Yes, okay. Now we're on the same track.
Okay. Also, yeah. No, wasn't John in prison too in the Gospels, or am I thinking of somebody else?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
or like exiled on an island of Patmos or something like
I
that. That's
thought,
where
or was it Peter? I thought someone was with Peter in prison.
I don't know.
Or
An
am I?
angel, the angel that let him out.
Yeah, but wasn't no one else was in there?
I can't remember.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm Catholic. Like I read the Bible.
So John's in prison, and Elias is basically helps keep him from getting murdered.
We didn't even talk about Elias last episode, man.
Last episode, like this podcast.
Yeah, when we started the whole, remember we got off and it's like Elias, man. We didn't even talk about Elias. He's like this whole other like underground kingpin, and it's like he's a huge character in the show, and it's like we didn't even talk about him.
Here's your opportunity. Do you want to tell us about Elias?
I mean, Elias is like just this amazing kind of like under the radar criminal kingpin that just like he gets arrested in season 1, right? Like, but like in season 2, he's
in prison.
He's in prison. He just the way he kind of forms a relationship with the guys that are trying to help people, in spite of the fact that like he's also trying to do crime. Like he's an organized crime boss that they make friends with, and it's just so weird because it's like, hey, we're trying to like stop this crime, and it's just like, you seem to come up on our radar a lot, dude.
Well, it's like he's he's an organized crime, but he's also when he's in power, things are much more ordered.
Well, he just has this sense of like he almost, it's weird. So it's weird to think, but like he's kind of like he plays a perfect antithesis to Harold in a sense. Like Harold is trying to create a moral order like that's more altruistic, and he's kind of trying to create an order that's just for like a selfish thing, like it's for me, like it's so I just started listening to a new podcast today called History of the Germans, and it's wonderful
And
because
and
there's
it
a guy,
wasn't plot lines.
and I listened to him. I didn't start listening to Plotlines today. I
Oh
said I
well, that's
started a new podcast today,
fine.
Connor. Of
Fine.
course, you aren't the new one.
Well, I
Um,
don't know. Do you're on it a lot. That doesn't require you to watch it very often.
that's fair, and I'm not watching this episode. I'll just tell you that right now.
Okay.
But anyway, I was listening to it, and the guys just talking about how like Roman civilization collapsed, but Rome had like this, like it had a civilization that was focused on a lot of this like common good, and so between the time of Rome till the time of like Charlemagne and the Holy Roman Empire, like you basically just have a whole bunch of like mob bosses running around. Like it's just about like who the strong man is, and so Elias isn't necessarily a strong man, but he represents like somebody who's willing to actually think through everything and to like
Well,
think through the angles and like he's the politically savvy, like I'm going to unite everything and actually make it a kingdom.
Rome also created their own strongmen in the places they conquered.
Well, yeah, but like that's before they brought him into the province,
No,
made
I
him a
just mean like
province.
when things collapsed, they basically set up their successors
Yeah,
because basically the the rulers that carried on in the regions post Rome were just Roman leaders that no longer had an emperor to look
yeah,
to,
but like
to some
for the
degree.
first couple generations,
Sure. So,
and then it became like an all out like whoever can like because there was because the whole trade network fell down so much, and there's no like trade network, there's no taxation, so there's no like there's I mean it's just it is an incredible I mean people don't like studying it, but it is a little bit incredible to contrast that to Rome, and they're like, oh my gosh, like the trade network and that taxation system, like the value that it had to actually creating public services that works for people, and then without it, it's like the only way to really generate income and economy is by basically pillaging off everybody else who's creating around you. Because that's how you trade is like I'll just
mhm.
take this, thank you.
And that's kind of what's going on with Elias.
That's a little bit Elias, but like he's trying to get things set up where like he can then like kind of be be the head honcho, like the one it's like he's trying to get things set up until he can actually establish his own trade networks, and then he doesn't have to steal from everybody because he's the trader.
He wants to make himself legit in some
Right.
sense.
Right. Like I mean that kind of the old mob boss mentality. I'm going legit. Like but like I mean he never will be, but
In
the whole
his
idea.
head.
Right.
Also, just so you know, there's a link in the description to our previous episode if you want to hear about season 1. But yeah, so Elias is this leader who's was more dominant in season 1 and is now in prison, sort of playing his part
Yeah.
from the prison.
Well, he'll be back though. He'll be back.
Spoilers. Yeah,
He's a wonderful character because he's just I mean he's just kind of a yeah he's an enigma. Like at some point he's going to have everybody in their crosshairs, and at the same time he also befriends all of them too, because like everybody knows that he has connections and knowledge, and like he has like he has everything, but that everybody else really kind of needs and wants.
Yeah. Leon was also introduced in this season. Do you remember Leon?
Oh yes, Leon. He does not have as a major of a role, but he's kind of like he's a little bit more of like a comedic,
He's comedic wild card Harold.
right? Yeah, I mean he's smart, so he can help bring like it's interesting because he'll come on he has enough financial acumen, so he'll come on like financial acumen shows to help explain things a little bit to help you explain like that like they make good use of the character to help move plots along, I think.
Yeah, though he's not in a ton of
And
episodes.
he's not in and sometimes when gets into an episode, he's in there for like 5 minutes. The whole show's not about him. Like the one where with Shaw, like they just recruit him to like drive an ambulance, and he's like, "Dude, I don't know what I'm doing."
Oh yeah, that's a dramatic episode.
That's
Where
it's so good though.
where Shaw the
He's
way
introduced.
Shaw dies and then
Yeah,
is
is resuscitated. Yeah,
shuttled off and resuscitated and
and
just
she
how
yeah
huh?
yeah shuttled off to a cemetery so that she can rise from the dead.
Yep. And Jesus, I mean Jim.
Yeah, yeah,
I
and he's
mean
like,
John.
and John's like, "You're welcome."
So, he's basically playing the same
I'm
character.
telling you, he just plays the same character in all these shows. Really.
Oh, that's great. But yeah, so that just like how sort of I love when all the teamwork is working well.
Yeah.
Basically, you got Fusco and Joss pick up take the body.
Yeah,
Leon
like
is
we'll take it down to a morgue, and Leon's driving the cab, and then
well, Leon declares her dead, I'm pretty
yeah,
sure, when she's not dead.
which
Uh,
I can't remember. I don't even think he's wearing a coroner jacket, so it's not even his job to do.
no, I thought he was wearing like a well, I guess not a
He's
coroner,
just an
but
EMT. Like
yeah.
he can't declare them dead. That's the coroner's job.
Don't question it, Darren. The other people weren't.
the
They were
point
like,
the point is that like it's pretty clear that she's dead. Like
yeah,
because they're taking her to a morgue because obviously she's dead, right? Like
EMTs know what they're doing. That's what it's saying. Don't question the EMTs, Darren.
well, the fact too that Joss and Fusco are on the scene. They're homicide detectives, right? So it's like it
No,
must be
no,
a homicide.
did you say
Joss, yeah,
Joss and Fusco?
Joss Carter. Yeah.
Yeah, Joss Carter. Though she's a little feministy for me. Though she's not as feministy as Shaw. Shaw is like an embodiment of feminism.
Well, keep in mind that she also has a psychiatric disorder.
No, Darren, stop telling me these things and expecting that they're going to change things.
It's true.
Stop making me feel for people.
Stop making you feel things.
Yeah, stop making me feel things. I'm a melancholic. I already feel things. I feel things enough. I don't need your help with that. Um but yeah, so Joss and Fusco take the body to give her to Leon. And then I love it because Bear the dog wakes her up and licks her awake, basically.
Yeah,
Um
like the only reason I'm here is for the dog.
what?
Since she at some point the dog's the only one I like.
Yeah, exactly. Well, of course, it's a dog. The Bear, the dog, is introduced.
First episode,
What?
in the first episode of the season.
Yes, without. I love how
Great.
it's like a gift Reese gives to Finch at the end.
Yeah, as
And
a way of like being like, here's your emotional support dog,
yeah,
and he's gonna be your guard.
like I planned it, like
Yeah,
like as if Reese planned that,
yeah. It's like
which he didn't. It was
he
just
didn't.
accidental.
It's just a happy accident.
It was just providence.
I mean, really, and the dog doesn't even like make a huge like. He's not really like. Sometimes you even forget that they have a dog in a lot of episodes because
I
of that.
never forget that they have a dog. Darren just doesn't like dogs apparently, and forgets.
Oh my goodness. So anyway, it's just a convenient like extra character to throw on the show from time to time. Kind of like the kind of like that the fixer character who
Oh yeah,
keeps making a recurring appearance on the
he's
show.
also. Does she come back in the fourth or fifth season?
So I don't think she really makes any kind of entrances in season 4, and then season 5 she has a guest appearance, and she's like, "It's been a long time, guys."
Okay.
It's not like, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, we forgot that you're a recurring character and we could bring you in. But like season 4 has so much going on for it that it, like I really don't know how they would have like
Yeah,
thrown her in.
they have no time for her.
Yeah, I
But
mean they really are trying to pack so much into it though,
even though it's like 22 episodes,
right? But
which is a lot.
yeah, it's just a lot, but
So
it's so packed.
yeah. Anyways, so more on season 2. We'll get to season
So
4 eventually.
so I'm thinking of some of my favorite episodes of season 2.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, there's the one where he's like, protecting the or the Brazilian consul's daughter.
Oh
There's
yeah,
the
that's a good
one
one.
like the bury the lead where the newspaper reporter they like protect, and then like
Well, she's actually the danger.
yeah, I mean also a danger because she's looking up for um you know trying to find him, like wanting to do a story on him, and so the way that
Oh
they kind
yeah.
of
Well, then
keep them
she's
at
like, "Oh,
distance.
I guess he doesn't exist because he didn't
Because
show up."
after the week I had, he's
Yeah.
surely was showing up, and it's like, yeah,
Like, lady,
fancy,
there was a guy
fancy
in a
that,
suit right there.
yeah, like right here, like
Like
this
John
guy,
didn't even change outfit.
the whole time, and they saw each other for like 3 days straight.
Yeah. She's not a very good journalist, I guess.
Yeah,
But, you
yeah,
know,
I guess not.
I mean,
Um,
yeah. I mean, sorry. What else?
so I liked the episode with the hotel.
Hmm. And that is with the fixer. The fixer's in that one.
Yeah, yeah. She's in there for like another reason, and they're like, oh, well, while you're here,
Yeah.
do you mind if you like did
Oh,
some stuff?
and when Harold buys the hotel afterwards.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just kind of just a way to subtly like remind you, like one of the reasons why they can do a lot of the stuff they do is because he's a billionaire,
It
basically. Like
it is
it's
very convenient that he's a billionaire. What was it? Do you know what his company's called that he technically owns?
I can't remember.
Is it something to do with Ren something, or is it?
Oh, it's not. He does it with his friend Nathan. I can't remember.
Yeah, which Nathan's demise is in this season
Yeah.
in the flashbacks. And just that
Yes.
he's kind of the origin for why this whole situation, this whole like what's the word? Like this the helping people that are in danger comes about,
Yeah.
and that Harold could have saved him.
Yeah. The thing that I find remarkable is how many, like, whenever a woman's number comes up, they are they are generally like very attractive women, and it's just kind of like, what are the odds? like if I
Darren
were
was TV.
like if I were an attractive woman watching the show, I'd be concerned. It's like, is my number up?
Darren, good thing you're not an attractive woman.
Thank God, right?
Yeah, thank God you're not an attractive woman.
I think the beard helps. Keep that.
We both have beards.
Anyway, moving on. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that comment out there. It's just something I noticed.
That only beautiful women are in danger.
Yeah, it's what are the odds? I mean, I think even like in one of the episodes, like Fusco has like has to protect like a supermodel or something like that, right? Like
that is like literally, that is one of my favorite storylines ever, because it's basically not even part of the show, but it's just like
we gotta have Fusco in the show somewhere. How do we add him in? It's like, oh, we'll just have him protecting the supermodel.
But it's just so ridiculous because you only see like random points of it. You don't even know what the story was. But at first,
like originally, like when he like approaches her, like he gets like
slapped,
like pepper sprayed, and like because she's like, "Well, you creep."
And then by the end, they're like making out.
It's like, oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, like falling in love. I'm like, what the heck happened in between? Like that is literally the best background story ever.
The best plot that never actually happened.
Yes, and that's why I think like that's exactly my sense of humor. Is that like having a plot in the background where it's just like you have no idea what happened?
Have you ever seen the show Community?
A little bit.
There's one episode where like the character Abed really like doesn't have a story in the whole show. Like, and it's weird because like Abed is usually like pointing out that this is the kind of like the different show that we're kind of doing. And so on one, I can't remember what episode it is, but there's one episode where Abed is not in the show. Like he has no, like he really doesn't have a talking part until the end, but you always see him in the background and he's basically like helping deliver a baby on campus. like he's helping different people in these like crisis situations, and like he delivers a baby.
Yep.
And he brings it up like episodes later, and we're like, we don't remember that. Like, oh, it happened.
I'm quite young, and I watched Phineas and Ferb growing up, and I feel like what?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, but that's the kind of humor that's in that show, is that just like random things,
random stuff that's happening in the background that nobody really notices.
Exactly. Like there's the main plot, and the main plot is literally meant to be the same every episode.
Okay.
Like it repeats itself. The story is these two brothers are working on some big project in the backyard or wherever they are, and then the sister is always trying to get them busted by her mother, and the mother never sees it, and then their pet platypus goes off and fights an evil scientist and then things happen in the background, and that's kind of where
this sounds a lot like Dexter's Laboratory, except instead of a platypus, he has a pet monkey that is actually a superhero.
Okay, yeah, that's I've never seen that, so
yeah, Dexter's Laboratory is like prime 1990s Cartoon Network. So Supremo like cartoonish stuff.
You can tell the difference in years we grew up.
You know, I was probably a little bit old when I got into Dexter's Laboratory. I didn't care.
Slightly old when I got into Phineas and Ferb.
I think Dexter's Laboratory was like late 90s, early 2000s. So,
and Phineas and Ferb was early 2010s.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah. Anyways, so we were both late bloomers regarding cartoons.
I just love cartoons. I don't really care. I'll still sit down and watch them.
Maybe we'll have to review cartoons next.
Maybe we'll just have to figure out which cartoon we're going to review.
I don't think that will be very difficult. uh,
Roadrunner or Coyote. I don't understand why the Coyote doesn't figure this out. I mean,
well,
the physics just don't make sense. I don't get it.
well, that wasn't a great tangent. Let's get back to
Get back to person of interest. Okay.
We have great. I hope people just watch this show for
For
the
the
tangents.
tangents, nah,
Because
yeah.
that's really what these. I wish we had a good like name for our reviews. Like I wish we had like some special uh title for our episodes.
We'll have to think of one up.
Yeah. And for listeners, put suggestions if you have any suggestions for Darren and Connor episodes. So hopefully we can get some, it could be math lines or plot math because you would want to do something math related.
Why would I want to do something math related?
Because you always say you want to do something math related.
Oh, well, I mean, it's more like, by the way, I got this new like game called the farming game, and it's like basically just this like you basically have to build a farm, and like one of the things I love about it is that to win the game you have to call an audit. It's like, yes.
You have to do something
Yeah,
really
you
boring.
you gotta say, I'm gonna do an audit, and you're like, everybody do an audit, like everybody do your taxes. We're gonna figure this out. Who's winning? It's great. I love it. That and Payday. It's gonna be my favorite. That and Payday are right up there. Payday makes budgeting fun.
Did you ever play
It's a
like
tagline.
Tycoons?
Life,
The Tycoon games?
like life.
No,
What
it's
other
not Tycoon.
the tycoon game? No, I
Like
really
what is it? Like School Tycoon. You create a school.
no. That sounds
Mall
boring.
Tycoon.
Oh, Malt. I haven't heard of any of these games.
Roller Coaster Tycoon. There's also like an underwater tycoon.
I have not heard
Basically,
of
you
these
just
games.
create something and you have to make it functional, and people have to come to want to come to see it
Yeah, I don't
or
know.
pay
I
money.
can't remember the name of the game. There was a game I tried playing a couple of years ago that was like a really intricate. It was actually a really intricate, like almost economics game, and it was just like, I was like, this is kind of interesting, and at the same time, it's like, but it takes like an hour and a half to play, and then it's like, I don't know that I know enough nerds to play this with in general. I don't know who I'd find to nerd out with it.
Did you not know many nerds?
I still don't know enough nerds.
Yeah.
I need more nerd friends.
Well, but you're an introvert, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
You need to find someone who's an extrovert nerd to find you all the other nerds.
I know I'm a nerd.
Because you're
You know,
not going to be able to do it yourself, so you
I
need
did
someone.
I did meet a couple nerds over this weekend. Like there are a couple civil engineers, and like we'd pass over a bridge. It's like, oh, it's really interesting about this bridge, and I was like, oh boy,
Aren't
this is
all
gonna be good.
Aren't all Catholic men nerds at this point?
I I mean, if you're I mean, a little bit, probably.
You kind of have to be at this point.
Kind of have to be a little bit.
At least a little
You have
nerdy.
to, or at least you have to at least feign the interest. Yeah, at least that would be really good.
I feel bad.
All right.
I feel bad for all the women in the church because they're like, There aren't all they have is nerds to look to find for men.
Yeah. Yeah,
So that's
whatever.
something. Anyways, do you have anything last to say
Anything
about this
anything else
season?
on person to mention? Last? Oh my gosh, it's already been an hour.
Are you serious, or was
No,
that you
I
didn't
wasn't.
notice?
I was a little bit like, because we were joking about it earlier. Like, oh, could you imagine doing the show and then you get the last 5 minutes and like, I gotta cram it all in.
We self we that was it was prophetic. We
Right. Let me think. I you know I really do enjoy like the episode like that um like Bury the Lead or the hotel episode. Like I really enjoyed those episodes because I feel like they really they really kind of hit upon kind of the theme of the show a little bit. Like they really kind of helped. Like this is what the like they like. Yeah, there's an overarching like story arc and everything like that, but like it's just in general, I think it just really shows you what kind of a fun show it is, and it's not necessarily like an A team kind of thing. It really is like, hey, we're here's this situation, and we're trying to like, like it's I don't know, it makes it fun where it's just it's a fun concept that somebody's in danger, and you're gonna try to make contact with them, and how are they gonna react, and you're gonna find out like you don't know if like did they do something or are they hiding from something and everything like that.
You like the ones that they have to really figure things out.
A little bit.
You're
I
like you
like
like
I
the
like I
mystery.
like it. I like it when there's a little bit of uh, uh, a plot twist more toward like the latter part of the episode, and it's not just like really clear from the get go like, oh well, this is definitely
Yeah,
like that. You're
mystery.
still trying to guess like whether or not this person is really good or bad. Like that's what makes I think that's part of what makes Root's story so compelling, is that anytime that she's on there, she is kind of able to play the wild card. Like you really don't know what to expect from her in some respects.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Darren, for coming on again.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
It's always a pleasure talking to you, and I think I can. Speaking for the people who listen, I don't know if this will be what they would say, but I would say they enjoy it.
Yay!
um, let me know in the comments if you like Darren,
Yeah, great.
and if you
Yeah.
don't like Darren, why are you watching this? Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Uh, we're very close to 700 subscribers, so please help us
Yes,
get there. We're 14 away, so
subscribe.
we got to catch up to Avoiding Babylon.
That's right.
Yeah,
You got to catch up to Avoiding Babylon.
we don't want Avoiding Babylon to leave
And
Plotlines behind.
I can only create so many YouTube channels and like your channel, so it's
Is that what
exhausting.
you do, Darren? Are
No.
you most of those subscribers?
Oh man, that would be crazy.
I hope you
I,
enjoy these episodes because they're mostly us just laughing about something.
yeah, just making some stupid comment and laughing.
Okay, well, later this week, Charles Colombe's going to be on the show. We're going to be talking
Awesome.
about the the aftermath of World War II and where the world was at that
There was a
time.
second one. Sorry.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. Oh my goodness.
Just so you know, that episode will be very spoilery
Yeah.
for things that have
Yeah.
already happened
Right.
because that's
Okay.
what history is.
Right. Okay. Now I'm
Okay,
catching up. All right.
thank you, everyone. Have a great one. God
All right.
bless.